Let's watch some scary videos!
With the green gang, it's a mean thing. Got the block shot down like Sean Yang. We strapped, purple getting clapped. Green like the cash that we keep stacked.
He's a killer, straight up thriller. He green and he mean like a drunk caterpillar. So back down, there's a green town. Doing green stuff, repping that green crap.
The internet. Chances are, if you're watching this video, you're on the internet. Now, I bet you're wondering, why the fuck are you talking about the internet? And to that I say, why the fuck are you questioning me? Don't question me. I do things for a reason, sometimes. Sometimes I just do it because I feel like it. But let's forget about that. The reason why we're talking about the internet today is because what exists on the internet? Stories! They're all 100% real. Because who would tell lies on the internet? Come on. It's gotta be pretty low telling lies on the internet. I just don't believe it. So today we're gonna look at a channel called Wansei Entertainment. It's an animated YouTube channel that animates scary stories. And I thought, why not? Anyway guys, let's just watch some scary videos.
It was wintertime, and Christmas was approaching. I was 25 years old, and I was going to meet up with some of my friends who lived on the other side of the city. It was a 4-hour drive from my place, so I decided to take my own car instead of a local cab. It was my first time going alone on such a long drive, and I felt nervous, but excited. At midday, I packed my bags, threw them in the trunk, and went off to meet my friends. It was a cold day, but the roads were clear. I didn't see much traffic as it was the holidays, and people would rather spend time with their families and friends indoors and stay off the roads. Now, I'm not the type of person to go straight to my friend's house.
'Cause you don't have any friends.
I like to take my time. I'm a social media freak, and I enjoy posting pictures pretty much all the time.
Narcissist! Narcissist. Sorry, I had something stuck in my throat there. Think it was a load of bullshit.
So I found the journey an excellent excuse to post some extra pictures. The road I was taking had beautiful scenery, and the place where my friends lived was even more magical.
My dude, Instagramming and driving is never a good idea. Trust me, I've learned that the hard way.
I stopped a lot during my ride to take pictures.
That's basically you screaming, "Hey, I want to get murdered!" Yeah! Person living in the woods! Murder me! Yeah! That's basically what you're doing. Not the smartest thing to do, but also not the dumbest.
I was having a great time by myself. Well, that was until the weather suddenly changed. It was around 6 p.m., and I was still driving. I still had a long way ahead of me. And that's when it started to snow. Not just a dusting of snow, it was thick and heavy.
Could you say it was Timmy Thick?
After 15 minutes or so, the roads were already covered with a few feet of snow.
My guy, where the fuck do you live? Antarctica?
I felt anxious since it was getting dark and I wasn't even halfway through the drive. My car slowed down and I had to force it to run on the empty roads. The heavy snow didn't stop.
Okay, so it was like December-ish, right? Like he mentioned it was December-ish, but you didn't have enough foresight to decide to check the weather to see just in case it snows. And you didn't decide to prepare for it to snow. Like bring snow tires or those fucking chains or zip ties or some shit. Bring something so that you don't get stuck in the snow in the middle of nowhere. Don't be stupid, bro. Just don't be stupid.
I decided that I would stop at the closest gas station I could find, but unfortunately, I couldn't find one for a while. An hour later, I finally saw some lights shining from the distance. It was a gas station. I pressed the accelerator, rushed to the station, parked my car, and went inside quickly. Just as I entered, a strong snowstorm started. The gas station had a little shop tucked away with some chairs to sit on. The guy at the counter was an ordinary fellow. He didn't really talk much.
That dude looks like a rapist. And yes, I know he looks like the main character, What I'm trying to say here is the main character looks like a rapist.
He only asked me where I was going in such harsh weather. After that, I bought some chips and drinks and sat down in the furthest chair from him. It was night now. I sat, munched on my food, and scrolled through an Instagram. Then, suddenly, the shop's door opened. I looked up, and a very weird-looking man entered.
Have you seen yourself?
He had long, greasy hair, was wearing a long coat, and had a very grim expression. I saw him buy some cigarettes, and he sat down a few chairs away from me. He didn't look at me at all. At first, I ignored him, but then he started smoking. Since the shop was small and the smoke filled the air quickly, the shopkeeper told him to stop, but he didn't listen.
Because he's too cool for that shit, bro. He's like, man, fuck you. I can smoke if I want here. This is America, bitch. You can't stop me from smoking in a small room. Fucking die. Suffocate, suffocate. Suffocate on those fumes, bitch.
He couldn't ask him to leave because of the storm.
I feel like you could. Call me crazy. But you could. You could be like, out. Get out. You don't have to go out there, but you can't stay in here. Vámonos, vamos, get out. Pinche estúpido. Get out. Could have been like that. Could have just said something like that, you know?
So he didn't say anything else. I, on the other hand, hated cigarettes.
Because you're a fucking loser, that's why.
The weird guy was looking down, breathing very heavily as he smoked. It was as if he was breathing in my ears. So when he took out his fifth cigarette, I lost my temper and angrily told him to stop. He looked at me for a couple of minutes. His big eyes were red with anger. But then he smiled and stopped smoking.
I'm pretty sure his eyes were red from the smoke, not from anger. And also, you don't just yell at a random person, bro. You just, like, tell them calmly, hey, dude, stop.
His smile was unnerving. I sat down again and distracted myself on my phone. Shortly afterwards, my friend called me, asking why I hadn't reached their place yet. I told him the whole story, and he said the storm would soon be over, and I shouldn't worry. When I hung up, I noticed the weird guy staring at my phone with deep interest. I was afraid that he was thinking of stealing it. But to my relief, after some time, he got up to leave. At the door, he stopped, looked back, and screamed loudly before running away.
Bro, he summoned Cthulhu. Game over, man. You got Cthulhu summoned on you.
Scaring the crap out of me and the shopkeeper. He didn't return after that. At 10:30 p.m., the storm ended, and I immediately left after thanking the shopkeeper. I went into my car, started it, and drove off. For some time, I drove in silence.
You're mad. I'm back. Big mad. He's mad. She's mad. Big sad. Ha ha. Don't care. Stay mad. Ooh woo. Buy my OnlyFans, you big Chad.
But then, I heard a noise. It sounded like heavy breathing. My heart rate shot up and my hands got all sweaty.
Knees weak. Arms are heavy. Mom spaghetti. Vomit on his sweater already.
As the breathing sounded so familiar and so close. I looked through my rearview mirror and screamed. The weird guy from the shop was sitting in my back seat, smiling at me.
Did you not lock your door? Did you leave that unlocked? Or did he unlock the door, get in, and then you just not notice that your door was unlocked?
I pressed the brakes very hard, got out of the car and started running. I felt him running after me too, yelling at the top of his lungs.
So this is what you do. You circle around, right? Jump in your car, shut the door, fucking hit that gas pedal, and just ram into that motherfucker. And just be like, bro, that's what you do. You do this. That's how you get out of the stupid situations.
The road was empty, and I felt hopeless as I knew he was faster than me.
Faster isn't always better. Ask any woman.
I only looked back once to see him running like an unnatural being and holding a knife in his hand.
Bro, who runs like that? And why does this dude look like Discount Jeff the Killer, man?
I increased my pace, still wondering how on earth he got inside my car. I might have forgotten to lock the door when I first left to go to the gas station.
You fucking idiot. This is what you deserve what's happening to you. No offense, but like, you always lock the door.
But now, it was too late for regret. My life was at risk because some psychopath was after me. Then I saw some headlights at a distance.
Bro, this is when you do some hardcore parkour. Run up to that car and just fucking jump over that shit. Like fucking whoever did that, whoever fucking jumped over a car. I don't know who. But like fucking just jump over that shit, bro.
I started waving my hands like a maniac, screaming for them to stop. They did, and it turned out to be my friend.
That's pretty convenient.
He had come to pick me up as he was worried since I was pretty late and thought something went wrong.
Something did go wrong. You have a dumbass friend who doesn't know how to lock his doors.
I looked back, and I saw that guy was gone. I got inside my friend's car and told him everything. He called the cops, and they arrived shortly after. We all went to my car first and noticed some marks made by a knife in the back seat. The cops couldn't find the guy anywhere. After some investigation, they let us leave. I drove my car, and my friend drove his car back to his place. The cops never found the guy, and to this day, I still wonder what would have happened if my friend didn't turn up that night.
You would have died. Alright, so this next video is called Don't Leave Your Keys Inside Your House. I don't have keys for my house. It's a password. You need to knock on the door 3 times, and then a little short midget opens the little thing, and he says, "What's the password?" And the password changes every day, and it ranges from chicken nuggets to the Orient Express and Beware the Stray Clown. Now, I bet you're wondering, who's the Stray Clown? And you don't ask who the Stray Clown is. I don't want him to come for me. I fear the Stray Clown. He will kill me, and he will kill you. This is a call for help. Alright, don't leave your keys inside of your house.
It was Friday the 13th. I was walking home from my friend's house. It wasn't a long walk, maybe 5 minutes. As I got to my door, I realized I didn't bring my keys when I left my house. I took my cell phone out from my pocket to check the time, and it was 7:30 p.m. My parents usually don't get back home from work until 8:45 p.m. So I decided to walk to my grandparents' house, which is only about a 10-minute walk. As I was walking down the street, I saw a shadow behind me.
At this point, you turn around and beat the shit out of the shadow.
I turned around, but no one was there.
Well, this is why you walk by cars. I'm an extremely paranoid ass motherfucker. So whenever I hear footsteps or see a shadow, I look at a car next to me and like I try to see the reflection to see who they are. Fucking what do they look like? I try to be like, alright, scale of 1 to 10. Does this dude look like he's gonna try to kill me or mug me? And yeah, I get fucking ready to fucking throw down. Moral of the story is, walk by cars.
My heart started racing and I started to speed up. Then I saw the shadow again, following. I turned around again. Nobody was there.
Can't you just be like seeing things? Like, I see shadows all the time. That doesn't mean shit. That just means that my eyesight is very bad. Because my eyesight is very bad.
I was kind of scared at that time, but thankfully I was getting closer to my grandparents' house. I texted my grandma and told her to wait outside the door for me, and she replied with an okay. When I turned the corner, I could see the house and my grandma standing there. I started to feel calm again, like nothing was going to happen to me. But I was wrong. As I was about to cross the road to get to my grandma, I was suddenly pulled into an alleyway.
Big Bad Wolf. She got molested by the Big Bad Wolf. She got attacked by the Big Bad Wolf.
One hand covered over my mouth and another hand was around my body. With such an abrupt attack, I couldn't get my scream out.
Oh shit, she was molested by the big bad wolf.
I looked down and I could see a very dark, black hand with long, pointy black nails.
That's racist.
Lots of cuts and scratches were all over his hands. Its face was getting closer to mine, and it smelled like dead bodies. When I looked next to me, I could see a little part of its face.
It's the Joker. This is the new Harley Quinn origin story. That's the Joker. That's Harley Quinn. This is the new Harley Quinn origin story. Come on. We know this. We know this. You think I'm slow? You think I'm dumb? No. I know this is it. Come on. Yep.
It was pale white with a tint of gray.
What did I just say? Joker.
I could tell that it was not from here. It was something that we should not know. Tears were flowing down my face. After being dragged through the alleyway, I was dropped onto the ground. When I moaned in pain,
Whoa, are you sure it was in pain? I mean, like, by the way this story is going, I wouldn't say that you moaned in pain. Well, maybe.
that creature stood over me, breathing into my face.
Let's put a smile on that face.
Now I could clearly see its face. It had big black eyes, a big open smile with pointy white teeth, and a long red pointy nose.
So, like, what you're trying to say is that his skin and, like, everything about him is fucking disheveled. He smells bad, his skin's rotting, but his teeth are white? I mean, like, you know what? My 5th grade teacher's brother, who was a dentist, did say that the teeth are important for health, so I guess this dude took that shit to heart.
I closed my eyes, hoping it was just a dream. However, I felt their hand and nails were starting to dig into my neck.
Kinky.
Slowly and painfully. I struggled to breathe, but it was impossible. My vision was slowly blurring. And at that moment, someone put their hands on my shoulders. Another put their head on my right shoulder and started to whisper in my ear with a strange voice. So, this is how you end up when you forget your key on Friday the 13th. Then the creature started laughing, and then everything went pitch black and
What the fuck? What?
silent. When I opened my eyes again, I heard a bunch of people shouting, "He's back! He's back!" I was lying in a hospital room, and all my family was standing next to me. I looked to the left of me, and there was a woman doing something next to a monitor. I asked her, "Excuse me, why am I here? What happened?" And she responded, "You were found in an alleyway near your grandma's house with scratches and cuts on your neck. As soon as your grandma saw you being pulled into the alley, she immediately ran after you. She found you laying there as pale as paper, with your phone in your hand and blood running from your neck onto the ground. So she called 911, and now you're here." Looking her straight in the eye, I was immobilized with terror. I couldn't believe what she was saying, because I couldn't remember what happened to me. And then, when I looked to the right of me on the bedside table, there it was. I could see my house key.
Sorry, my crush texted me. And now that I've ruined any chances I've had with this girl, let's get back into the videos! Alright, so this next video is called "We Found Out That Someone Was Living in Our Bathroom." Now, first of all, how the hell did you survive that long without realizing that someone was living in your bathroom? Like, come on.
This happened to me a couple of years ago. My family and I moved to a new house. It was quite old, and it had been sitting empty for at least 15 years before my family decided to buy it. At first, I was just happy that we had a new house, but after that, I had some weird experiences. My room was right across the bathroom, and at night, I would hear strange noises coming from it. Actually, if you listened more carefully, it sounded like it was coming from the walls.
Rats. Mice. Hear that shit all the time, bro. Fucking captured one in the garbage can the other day. Well, in like kind of a garbage can. It's like a little trash thing where you can like put paper in. Somehow it got stuck in there, and we made eye contact, and it jumped, and I threw one of those glue traps, and the glue trap landed in its face, and like because I didn't want to watch that happen, I like covered the thing, and I was just like, yes, I'm gonna leave now. And I'm gonna tell my parents, hey, there's like a mouse in the trash can. It's dead, probably. It's gonna die soon, at least.
But when I finally got enough courage to walk towards it, the noises always stopped. Not much later, I got used to the sound and eventually stopped being scared of it. But that wasn't a problem compared to other things. My stuff started to go missing, like my clothes, underwear, and even one of my pillows. Sometimes I yelled at my little sister, since she often came into my room. I thought that she probably stole my stuff.
She probably did steal your shit. And she's just mad that you're not giving her shit for the shit that she did steal.
But whenever I got mad at her, she said, "Why would I take your underwear? I'm not a thief."
You should have said, I'm not a pervert. Why would I take your underwear? That's fucking weird.
Eventually, I couldn't find my stuff. Even worse, our food also went missing, little by little. My family and I felt uneasy.
Your family would feel like they have rats.
One night, I was laying in my bed about to go to sleep, and as I rolled over, I saw a figure in front of my door.
Personally, the way I sleep, I'm always facing either my wall or my door. Now, if I see a figure in my door, I will slowly make my hand towards the bat in my room, the wooden stick in my room, the metal stick in my room, or the hammer in my room, or the pair of scissors in my room. Basically, I reach for something to defend myself. What I'm trying to say is, you should prepare too.
That sent chills down my spine, so I rubbed my eyes and it was totally gone. I thought it was just my imagination.
Oh man, I think it's my imagination too. I've like once made, alright, so like I have this like R2-D2 popcorn bucket. Yep, I have this R2-D2 popcorn bucket. It's like pretty fucking big. When I'm sleeping, the shit around it, like all the stuff that I have around it plus that, kind of diverges into the shape of a person. And like, not just like a short person or like a regular person, like I'm tall. It's like taller than me. So I'm just like, yeah, you know what? Catch T's hand. I freak out just a tiny bit. Just a tiny bit. So yeah, but it's just your imagination. It's perfectly validated to be just a little bit freaked out.
But after that, I started receiving little notes on my bedside table when I woke up. Pretty, I see you.
Bro, who's leaving you notes? Fucking Slender Man?
And other weird things were written on it. However, I figured that my sister was trying to scare me, so I just ignored it. And that day became the most terrible memory of my entire life. One day, my dad and I were fixing up the bathroom. Because the entire house was pretty old, we were repairing the inside of the bathroom first. As we were tearing the tiles of the wall, Dad took the huge mirror off, and at that instant, I screamed. There was a little room behind the mirror, and there I found my stuff, and even my underwear.
That's kind of fucking creepy. You see, this is why I'm glad that all the mirrors in my house are fucking removable. This is why I'm glad that I like spend the time, my free time, thinking about like the fucking layout of my house. What room is directly like next to mine, in front of mine, behind mine, above mine, below mine. I spend time thinking about this. I fucking make maps. Like as a kid, I made maps of my house, like floor by floor. Like, I measured stuff. Like, I measured stuff. I don't know. I think I had, like, this predetermination that if there are fucking rooms in this house, I will find it and I'll beat the shit out of someone who's there. Man, that shit's whack. I know there's no hidden room upstairs because I was there when that was built. And unless fucking someone decided to put a hidden room there, it's kind of weird.
Along with empty food wrappers. We couldn't believe what we just saw, and Mom immediately called the police. They arrived pretty fast, and when they inspected that tiny room, they found out that there was a man who had been living in it for at least a couple of months. But he was not there, so the police promised that they would search for him outside. After that, we demolished the room, and since I turned 18 years old, I moved to my college nearby and got my own apartment. Sometimes I go back to my hometown to visit my parents, but never spend the night. I know that the man was still never caught, and I'm always paranoid, wondering if he's still hiding somewhere in our house.
At this point, why wouldn't you just ask for the blueprints for your house? Like, if something seems a little suspicious, if something seems suspicious and, like, it's not accounting for the other room, you can be like, yeah, there's another fucking hidden room. I'd be on the search for hidden rooms, bro. Like, come on. You find one hidden room in your house, there's probably more. You gotta get on that fucking searching, that hidden room grind, if you know what I mean. I would be looking for a hidden room anywhere. Shit. Whatever. I'd be looking for a hidden room, that's all I'm saying. I'd look for that, and, yeah. And also, how do you know he was never caught? Like, he could have been doing this somewhere else, you know? He could have been caught, or he could have been fucking doing anything. He was sniffing your underwear. It's a creepy thing to do. He could have been a pedophile or a fucking rapist or some shit and could have been fucking caught. You don't know. You don't know. So, just relax, bro. Sit back, relax, and just chill. Alright, so this last video is called I Had a Car Accident and Something Was Trying to Kill Me. Sure you did.
When I was 14 years old, we traveled to Jeddah for a few days. On our way back, it was just past midnight, and there were almost no cars around on both sides of the highway. My mom, dad, and I were chatting and laughing at each other. However, we just ran out of topics soon, and I decided to lie down in the back seat. At that moment, I heard a loud bang and passed out for a few seconds. When I got my senses back, I tried to sit up, but the car felt like a roller coaster, so I struggled a little. When I finally sat up, I grabbed the shoulders of both the driver and passenger seats. And then, looking out through my window, I realized that the car was on mid-air floating. When the car dropped, the front bumper dismantled and slid past the right windows of the car. What makes the matter worse, our car did not stop for us. It just started to run at a very high speed, and my dad and I freaked out due to the situation.
Don't you have emergency brakes? Like, can't you just, like, pull on that bad boy? You know? Or just fucking open the car doors and fucking jump and roll. Like, just jump out and roll out. Jump out and roll out, you know? It's gonna hurt like a motherfucker, but you know, you're gonna be alive. You're not gonna be dead, at least, you know?
My mom was insisting him to stop the car as soon as possible.
Well, bitch, don't you think he tried that already? He did try that already, didn't he? Because if he didn't, maybe you don't have that smart of a father.
I could see that he was trying, but the car wouldn't stop. Fortunately, we stopped at the fast lane of the highway, and there was a gas station on the other side of the road. We rushed out of the car and realized that our front left tire burst, and I could see that there was still no cars anywhere. The road was totally empty. My dad was bleeding from his nose injury due to his first hit on the steering wheel when the tire burst. When my mom went back to check to see if he was all right, I suddenly started to have an eerie feeling. At that very moment, I could feel that part of the illumination from the gas station seemed to get dimmer.
What are those things called from Doctor Who? What is it? What's that thing that Weeping Angels, the angels, Weeping Angels from Doctor Who. The angels are coming. That's what's happening. The angels are coming. Fucking run, don't blink, look at them. I think those are all the rules. Yep. Don't blink, look at the angels, and you'll be all right.
Lifting my head, I scrutinized in the woods behind the gas station. And then, 2 dark, gigantic figures were standing there and staring at us. I thought I was hallucinating, but those figures were literally standing there. Although I couldn't see their faces, I could surely see the silhouettes and those piercing eyes. Also, their sizes were absolutely abnormal.
Are you sure you're just not losing it? 'Cause, I'd be losing it. Oh no. I feel like you just might be a little traumatized from the car crash that definitely happened. It's probably just a hallucination, assuming that the story is true. Because, traumatization, car crash, blah blah blah. I feel like I explained this 5 times. Whatever.
I stood there in fear. I couldn't even think of calling out my mom, saying, "Look over there."
Oh yeah, why didn't you get your parents? That's such a better idea. Get your parents. Be like, hey yo, look it, Solomon Grundy and fucking... I'm got a new other top person. Hey yo, look it, Abomination and Solomon Grundy are right there. Help.
Then those 2 figures slowly walked away to the woods and disappeared. After those things walked away into the dark, the brightness of the gas station seemed to be back to normal again. And then, the cars on the road started to pass on both sides of the highway. It was like a moment of nightmare. We finally called the police, and not long after, 3 police cars arrived. At first, the cops didn't seem to believe us when we reported our situation. But anyway, we were taken to the hospital and given treatment. The next day, a detective came to speak with us, saying that this part of the highway was known as a haunted road, and a lot of bizarre accidents have occurred, literally. The local government tried to investigate what was the reason, but it has never been solved until now. Since that day, my family never went on that highway. And a few years later, that highway was shut down due to the rising number of fatalities.
Ghosts. Only explanation, ghosts. Assuming the story is true, ghosts. Ghosts are haunting that highway. These stories are fucking crazy, man. A creepy guy breaking into your car, trying to kill you. Death returning you your keys to your house on Friday the 13th because he's just that nice of a fellow. A secret room in your house being inhabited by a possible pedophile. And a haunted road. Shit's crazy, man. These stories are 100% real. I believe them wholeheartedly, 100% sure. I swear I swear that I believe this wholeheartedly. These videos are just mindless, short entertainment. Animations kind of weird. Stories, but you know what? Whatever, to each his own, This dude wants to animate scary stories. Let him go ahead. Don't lose your keys or else death will find you. Give them back to you, but not before being a dick about it. Be sure to lock your car doors or else someone's gonna break into your car and try to kill you. Learn how to properly map out your house or just ask for the blueprints to your house. Always check the emergency brakes to make sure they work. And with that being said, this has been another episode of 16-Year-Old Talks Shit. Come back next week when I reveal the secret to getting high off of drugs without actually doing the drugs. Fucking shove it up your ass. That's how. Later.
Taking what we're taking and breaking them, we the green. Saying no-nos on the screen, take the streets, why they scream? Wait, what's that? Is Purple Gang rapping? Nah, fam, it's the sound of purple cheeks clapping.